faces on paper, curled at the edges, names said once and swallowed by time. Rooms went quiet, streets moved on. Something about this never died. Cold hands on cold files, dust where the truth should be. Every lie leaves a footprint, every monster bleeds eventually. For the missing that never came home, for the cases they tried to forget, for the killers counting days in the dark, thinking they're done with that. We keep digging, keep the light on.
All right. Happy Friday evening, everybody. My name is 12 Gauge. Welcome to my channel, 12 Gauge Investigative. I hope everybody's having a wonderful night and you've had a wonderful week. You know, I thought I'd hop on here and I'd talk just openly about just anything and everything that comes to mind. I really don't have a script for tonight, but if you join me, I hope that you enjoy the show. I'm going to start off by discussing a missing person that I've talked about on my shorts, that I've talked about just in general. Let me tell you a little bit about this person that I am about to talk about. I know the mother. We used to work together, and she loves her family, and she's from West Texas, kind of, but it's more southwest. If anybody knows where the San Angelo area is, that's where this woman is from, and that's where her family is from. As far as I can recall, she's from this area. She's born and raised there. She has extensive roots there, and she's missing her son. And let me give you a little backstory about her son. Her son went missing not long after he got out of jail. He got out of jail, I would say, about a year ago. And the state of Texas put him on a bus to get back to San Angelo, and he never made it. Who's to say he went missing and wanted to stay missing? We never know. But one thing for certain, we have a mother that's missing her 20, I think he's 32. Found the video. So let me play the video for you. That way it has some kind of background for you. Because I don't want to misrepresent any of the stuff that I'm trying to show you guys. So let me go ahead and pull it up on the screen. And if you've seen this before, I hope that you take a moment to watch this again. And this is one of the reasons why the song that I played at the very beginning of this live, this is one of the reasons why I chose this song, is because of this. So here we go.
Posters curl on the telephone pole, Rain smears the smile we used to know. Every street light feels like a question. Every midnight an answered hope. Your name still hums in empty rooms. Shoes by the door, dust on the clock. We count the days, we trace the rumors. Oh, the faith when the searchlight stops. If you're out there.
Here we go. Here's a little backstory. I had forgotten some of this because I've had tons of stuff going on. But here we go. He was last seen at the Dallas, Texas bus station. There's been no leads, no cell data, just lots of questions, and the family needs answers. If you know anything and it comes to fruition, there was a reward for $20,000, please call. And at the end of this video, I will give you the phone number, and the phone number is in the missing persons flyer. So please take a look at this individual, especially if you're from the Dallas-Fort Worth area or anywhere on the I-35 corridor leading from Dallas to Austin to Houston.
Hear us calling through the static, through the noise. You're not forgotten, not a shadow. We're still listening for your voice.
And there's the phone number, 325-222-6040 or 325-340-5770. His name is Lawrence Michael Teague. His family is looking for him, and they have been looking for him. And in 2 weeks, I'm going to be joining the mother, possibly in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We're going to be doing lives from homeless camps. We're going to be doing lives wherever we can go and look and broadcast. I'm going to go right alongside her and try to look for her son or any kind of variation of knowledge, if anybody has anything that they know about this young man. He is 32 years of age. He weighs 165 pounds. He has brown eyes and brown hair. He has a left side tattoo on his wrist. It says Homegirl. On his arm, it says Unquenchable. Psalms 42 on his arm. On his chest, he has Lawrence and Athena, and those are two of his children. Hey, PKC. So take a look at this individual, and I'll give you a little backstory as I continue this playing. It's very imperative, you know, when it comes to missing people, a lot of times if they're an adult or if they're in a line of work that is not viewed as favorable among society, most of the time they just get tossed to the side. Most of the time I've heard individuals state that the police had told them it's not against the law for people to go missing. Well, it may not be against the law. But you know, when it comes to somebody's child, how could you ever tell them that? How could that be something that you could ever tell a mother. Oh, it's okay. People want to disappear all the time, and well, I hope the storm gets better. I hope the storm gets better. How could you ever tell a mother that it's okay for people to go missing just simply because they're an adult? I get the concept. I'm not dumb. I get the concept. I get why people say that. But most of the time, as we talk about here on this true crime channel, most of these people that go missing, something nefarious always come to fruition at the end. Most of the time. I mean, if they're not found, they're either being trafficked or being used as mules, or they're being held against their will. Anything and everything that could happen can happen. So let's take a look at another avenue with this individual. Okay, I met her son one time. I've met this individual, so it's not like he's a total stranger to me. Like I said, his mom used to work for me. So I met her. And as far as I can remember, he's had it rough. He's had mental health issues, which, there's a lot of individuals that do. I think his mom told me he was schizophrenic. And I think his mom told me he was schizophrenic. And I think his mom and if you know about schizophrenia, you understand that it is something that isn't to be played with. It's something that is very detrimental to people, especially if they're not on their medication. You know, um, it's tough. It's tough for them to exist in this world. So, um, and most of the time, whenever you have mental health issues as well, as we've seen in life, people sometimes turn to substances to deal with the issues that they're not wanting to confront or don't know how to handle. And who's to say that is right or that is wrong? That's not what this show is about. This show is about bringing awareness to those that could be out there hurting and don't have anywhere to turn or don't have anywhere to go. And this story is a tough one to talk about because this is such a story. His mom agreed to come up on panel and discuss and tell his story for us, but until then I'm just going to hit the low points because I don't want to talk about this individual in a light that is less than favorable. Because if you've ever had anybody that you love that's been addicted to chemicals or has mental health issues, you have an understanding that they already have it tough. They already have it tough. This young man's dad died at an early age in his life. If I can recall correctly what she told me. So imagine growing up without a father and your mother's doing the best she can to get by. He's not the only sibling, so there was many in the household. Imagine growing up without a father. So think about that a minute. We always want to believe that, yes, he did live here in Texas, San Angelo. He went missing in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. He was released from prison, took a bus up to Dallas on his way back home to San Angelo, and he was never heard from again. And then people say, well, maybe he went missing because he wanted to be missing. What's the big deal? Okay, let's go down that avenue. Let's go down that avenue. What's the big deal of somebody wanting to go missing? Just to go missing? Well, when you come from a household that the family is close, when the son is always talking to mama, when the son always checks in with mama, regardless of what's going on, regardless the struggle, regardless the situations that you're dealing with and in your day-to-day life, your son always checks in with you. So that's what the problem is about adults who go missing. When they check in with the family, when they let their kids know where they are, how they're doing. He was preparing to come home to start a new life. He had paid his dues. He was prepared to come home. And as far as I know, he never did. His mom has been looking for him nonstop, has had multiple conversations with law enforcement, with the state of Texas, as far as I know, and even the Dallas detectives, and they all have a different variation of the shooting man's whereabouts, the dates in which he was at these locations. So think about this. We hear this countless times in the true crime community, especially when somebody goes missing. And that's where some of the conspiracy does come in, because you get with an agency and they tell you one thing, and you get with another and they tell you another thing. And it's confusing to the family members who just want to know, where is their child? And you say 12, but he's a grown man. He's 32. I know that. You know that. But tell that to his mama. Any of you women that are watching either on replay or watching right now, tell that to you, especially if you have a grown son. That's always going to be one of your baby boys, no matter how old they are. So tell that to his mama. Maybe he's not wanting to be found. Like I said earlier, his mom had shared briefly with me about the mental health issues. And that is one of the reasons that I have agreed to not only document the searches in a couple weeks, but to go with her in the homeless camps and see if maybe he had a psychotic breakdown and he'd just been homeless all this time. Maybe he lost his phone. Maybe he had been injured. Maybe he has issues that he can't call home. Maybe he feels ashamed. Maybe he feels lost. Maybe he's back in his addiction. Nobody knows. And that is the tragic part of having an individual that you care about and you know nothing about them. And this is his mother, this is his sister, his baby sister, and this is Lawrence right here. You tell me that look right there would tell you that boy, or I keep calling him a boy, that man would not want to come home to his family after being in prison. I beg to differ with you. There's one of his children right there. That's his son, I believe. His son is now 5 years old. No, he's closer to 9. He was 5 years old when I met his mother at my job. I believe he's like 9 or 10 years old now. So you tell that to his son, Daddy just wanted to run off. He didn't care about you enough to come home. I don't know about you, but that's hard. That's a hard conversation to have, especially when everybody in the family, his friends, his loved ones, his siblings, everybody is expecting him to come home. So let me pull up the area where the bus station is. That way you guys get an understanding of where the area was that he was last seen. And let's see where it is. I have been at this bus station more than once, and it is not the friendliest place in the world. Not only am I going to show you some photos, we're also going to go and let you see what area it was. And if you've ever been to Dallas, Texas, you understand exactly the level of not only homeless people that are in the area, but also people that are coming and going from all walks of life. And that's for any bus station everywhere. So there's, I guess somebody took pictures of the bathrooms. This was 8 months ago. I mean, if you've ever rode the bus, you know that it is not the safest travel. Here's a video. And obviously you can see that there's a lot of unsanitary type situations, as there is anywhere, any restroom that you may visit. I mean, look at that. Just terrible. Disgusting. So you get off the bus and you go into that. So this is the outside of the bus station. And this is where you get dropped off at. All the buses come in here. You're either waiting in these little waiting rooms for your bus to come in, or you're getting off the bus to go into this terminal to go get your luggage once it's taken off the bus. And these are a lot of photos. Let me see if I can get the map view. That way you'll know exactly where we're going. Let's see, Dallas. Let's go Fort Worth. Let's go from Fort Worth all the way here. So this is the route that we would take to the bus station from Fort Worth. And there's the bus station right there. There's the Greyhound bus station right there. So if you've never been locked up the great state of Texas, they send you with $50 and a bus ticket home if there's nobody there to pick you up. So imagine getting off the bus. I'm going to take you around to the side where the buses are. Like I said, I've been to this bus station myself, and I know exactly where everything that I'm showing you is. So this is the terminal that I was showing you right here. This is where the buses enter and they leave out the other side. And this is where you get dropped off at. There's the little terminal area. And this is basically what you would be walking around the bus station. It does look new and kind of upper scale, but don't be fooled by the bricks in the nice building. Depending on what time of night Lawrence was dropped off at this bus station, if he was dropped off during the day, this is probably what it would have looked like. But there's a McDonald's, or there used to be one, not far away from here. I remember going and eating there. There it is. I believe that's what the Golden Arches. Yes, sir. There it is. This is where most of the people that have nothing better to do with their day hang out. This is where a lot of the drugs are peddled. This is where a lot of areas that, you know, the in and out stuff. And there's a couple of gentlemen just sitting around waiting for something to happen. And as you can see, the bus station is right over here. So it's not that far a walk. Here's the bus station, that blue building right there. So it's basically a block. And there's a lot of people just sitting around on this particular day. But like I said, imagine this being 2, 3 in the morning. And you're trying to, you know, either take your $50 to go get you something to eat, or you're wanting to try to find a phone to call home. He just got released from prison, so it's not like he had a cell phone on him. He was on the bus home. So, like I told you, it would have been a block. And like I said, don't let all this fresh paint and everything confuse you as to it being that nice of an area, because I'm about to back out of here and show you exactly. I used to live in Dallas, Fort Worth area, so I know this area very well. Here's the McDonald's, and the bus station is right around here. So this is not too far from a lot of these areas over here lead into some of the sketchy parts of town. And, you know, downtown, any time of the night, especially after dark, it's not the best. It's not the best of places. Okay, so think about this a minute. If you're getting off a bus, and let me pull up the map again because I just messed it up. Okay, let's go back to the bus station. What did I do? Okay, let me take this little guy and move him over here. I still not the best with Google Maps. Drives me crazy. Let's look at the front area of the bus station. If you've ever been to any bigger city, you understand that there's a lot of parking garages that are just empty, especially after dark. There's always sketchy stuff going on around this area. Here is, I can almost guarantee you, there was probably people lined up against this wall, because anytime that I've ever driven by, I used to drop people off at this bus station at one of the halfway houses I worked at. There's always people walking down these streets, lined up along this street, passed out, you name it. They were all over this area. Okay. So if Lawrence got off the bus and he exited, got his bags, and was waiting for the next bus to take him to San Angelo, something happened between the time he got off the bus and he never got on the bus to head home. See, if had he got on the bus that headed home, it would have went in this direction, and then he would have hit I-35 and then onward to San Angelo. But as you can see, a lot of this area, there's a lot of opportunities for homeless people, for people that are not up to anything good in their lives. I don't know. A bus station is almost like a car wash for a lot of people in that lifestyle. And if you've ever lived that lifestyle, you understand exactly what the heck I'm talking about. Car washes are places where people gather to not only sell drugs, but to use drugs and to have any kind of illegal activity going on. So if Lawrence went off to the McDonald's or something to get something to eat, possibly this is the backside of it, I'm sure he would have went the other direction like I showed you a while ago. He would have went out the garage area. If he was boarding another bus to San Angelo, he would have had a layover. They do have a restaurant in the bus station, but you and I both know that if we were able to go into this bus station, it's not the cleanest based on what I just showed you as far as the photos. And the McDonald's is not that far away to walk and get something to eat. Just lost the McDonald's. I drive myself crazy, y'all. So I bet I drive y'all crazy too. I'm heading in a total different direction. That's why I lost the McDonald's. He would have came, went this direction, made a right, and there's the McDonald's right there. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying that this could have possibly happened. So, and let's think this, okay? Let's say, because it's not far from Reunion Arena right here. Reunion Arena is by the Reunion Tower. So let's say, because I haven't spoke to his mom about all the details, okay? Hopefully she'll agree to come on panel with me to discuss her son's case. I told her that I would get on here and I would talk about it because it's something that needs to be talked about. There's too many inconsistencies in this case, too much stuff that she's getting to run around, and the world needs to see one more missing person that has been missing for a while. So if you know, as I know, on this true crime channel that I run, we try to go and try to find, not conspiracy, but we try to find variations of what the best viable option could have been. Could he have missed his bus? But then again, then he would have been able to get another ticket for a later bus. Could he have possibly followed a female off the bus? That's what I would be doing right there if I saw the Google truck. Like, hey, what's up? Could he have possibly have followed a female off the bus with promises of, you name it, whatever? Or could he have, God, that dog needs to shut up, bro. For real. Act like he'd never seen a car before. Sorry about yelling. But excuse the dog. But like I'm saying, wow, that looks like him right there, kind of from a side view, doesn't it? He is tall like this guy and he's slender like this guy. I'm not saying that's him because when was this taken? August 2025. I think he went missing in April. But if you've ever traveled on the bus, you understand that there are different reasons why somebody would potentially leave the bus station. Maybe he didn't feel safe at the bus station. Maybe he was on a bus that, other people that were not too friendly with him were on that same bus. We just never know. And I don't know enough about it to really speculate or even talk about until I talk to his mother. And I'm basically just talking about the case because I didn't have really anything to talk about. So I thought I'd get on and talk about this case because it does need to be talked about. Missing people every day of the week, multitudes of the day, people just perpetually just vanish. They just vanish. But how many of you in the chat really believe that adult just vanish? Talk to me, chat. This gentleman was 32 years old, coming home from prison, stopped at the bus. This was kind of like a layover because Dallas is pretty much anywhere in Texas, whether you're flying or you're going on a bus, Dallas is the layover spot. So how many of you think that something nefarious could have happened to this individual in between him waiting for his next bus that would have caused him to just vanish without calling family, without talking to anybody he knows? Because granted, most people, when they get out of prison, they're issued $50. They don't give you $50. They give you a check for $50. They used to give you a cell phone, but I don't know if they did anymore when he got out of prison. But if he didn't have a cell phone, then all he had was $50. And most of the time, if people are getting out of prison and they were smokers in the past, one of the first things they stop off at before they get on the bus is this little store near the bus area where they pick them up. They buy a pack of smokes, maybe buy a soda, get on the bus, and head to their destination. Supposedly, he boarded the bus around the Austin area. So I don't know, and I'm gonna keep this case going. So I do not know at this point whether he was in a halfway house in Austin and was coming home to San Angelo, or if he was being released and Austin was a stop and then he went on to Dallas and then was going on to San Angelo. Regardless, it's very suspicious as to what happened and what has been told to his mom. She has had two different time stamps that they've given her, as far as I know. I talked to her yesterday. She told me that they have given her 2 different timestamps. One saw him on this day, one saw him on that day. And let's look at this place because this is what we do, right? There you have a camera. There's a camera right there. Somebody in the chat put a number 1. That way we can count these cameras. Okay, put a number 1 for that camera. Let's see if we find another one. If you see another camera, let me know where it's at in the chat. And then we can count that as number 2. I wonder if any of those look like sprinkler heads, but right there might be a camera. I'm not for certain. Let's see against this wall. That is a light. Okay, there's a camera right there. Can you put a number 2 in the chat for me, please? So if you put 2 in the chat for me, and there's a street camera right there. There's 3. So there's 3 cameras right there that we've seen. There's 1, there's 2, there's another one over here. And let's take a look around the building. Let's see if there's any more cameras alongside the building. That just looks like a light. Any cameras on the lights? I don't see any, but that doesn't mean there isn't any. Because as we seen in the Idaho case, we saw a lot of footage with cameras that we didn't even know existed. This looks like a camera right here. Would that be number 3, 4? You see another one? I think that's a camera right here. Let's look across the street. Is this a camera? Traffic camera, maybe? And this one's kind of pointed in the direction of the bus station. I don't know what these are right here. I wonder if they're license plate readers. You found another one? Let me know where you see it. That way I can see it. I can take you in with the, and we'll go down the block here in a minute, but let's go back around the building. Let's go this way. Okay, I don't see any. See, there's another one right here. So I don't know what that is. But there's no camera on that pole. Let's see. This possibly could be a camera. It looks like one of those dome ones. So that's 5. Yeah, because there's another one. There's 6. They're matching. One there, one there. There's 6. Let's keep going. Okay, let's look at this light. Any camera on this area? There's a camera on that building. It's hard to tell. See, a lot of these are solar areas. These little things right here solar things and they look like cameras. So a lot of people get them confused. See, I don't see any on that light. And there's another one, 7. So that's 7 right there. Can you put a number 7 in the chat, please? So that's 7 in that general vicinity of the bus station already. So let's see if there's any on this side of the building. There's one right there, 8. So there's 8 cameras right there already. So if anybody's walking around that building, they're going to be seen on one of those cameras. I can almost guarantee it. I don't see any on this side though, like there was on the other side. Let me see if there's any on the opposite side. Ah, how many did I say? 7, 8? There's number 9 right there. 9 cameras all the way around this building. 9 cameras. There's one right there. Let's go up the street. Let's see if there's any cameras on this side. See any on that building? This is what's cool about Google Maps, is you can see stuff that normally you wouldn't be able to see unless you were there. See, that looks like a light right there. I don't think that's a camera. This looks like some kind of apartment building. That looks like a light to me. I don't think that's a camera. But doesn't mean that there's not any cameras in any of these windows. Ah, look. Number 10. Right here. 10 cameras. 10 cameras. Okay, so that's what it looks like. So is there one on that side? I don't see one. That's a light right there. So that 10, and that looks like one right there. Let's go around the other side of the building. Nope, I was wrong. That looks like a solar dish. That's a light. So, okay, there's 10 cameras so far all the way around this bus station. So let's head back down toward the McDonald's. I didn't even touch on that other building, but let's look and see if there's anything on this other building. What do y'all think? You think this is a camera? That's 11? Is that 11? Y'all think this is a camera or this is a light? Because this is something with solar. So this could be a camera right here. One of these, do you think one of these is a camera? And there's another solar powered thing, whatever that is. See, because this has electricity running to it. It doesn't look like a light bulb. It looks like one of those pivotal type cameras. What do y'all think, chat? Y'all think that's a pivotal type camera? If so, then that's 11. I don't believe he would have went down that way. So there's 10 all around here, counting on the street lights all the way around the building. So going to McDonald's, he would have went this direction. See, this camera right here would have captured anything walking this way. There's another camera there. There's a camera on the corner. There's a camera there. There's a camera there. So anywhere around the building, he would have been captured either side. So he would have been captured what direction he walked off in. And if he got a ride. That's to say he didn't get an Uber or a taxi. Let's see if there's any cameras around here. See, I don't know why they don't have cameras at the bus stops. Oh, they do. There's one right there. That is number 13. 13 cameras so far. There's one right there. And there's 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So you tell me what kind of good neighborhood this is that has 18 cameras all over the place. Why do you need so many cameras? I understand we're a camera nation, but why do you need so many cameras near the bus stop? I don't know where McDonald's cameras usually are. I don't think I'm going to be able to go around. Oh, there's one right there. If Idaho taught me anything, it taught me how to spot cameras really quickly. I believe this is a camera right here. It looked like there's a little black dot right there. That's definitely something right here. So let's say 14 with a question mark. 18? 18 cameras. So if he was around McDonald's, there would have been cameras capturing him. We're going to go down this way just in case he went the back way. But let's look around the other side of McDonald's. McDonald's. There's a camera. There's a camera. 20. 21. 21 so far. And this is this is a United States courthouse, so I'm pretty sure this place has some cameras somewhere. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 24 cameras. 24 cameras, guys. Just around the area where Occam's Razor would tell you. And see, that's how fast you get the I-30, I-35 East, and 45, which would go to Houston. This would go either to Shreveport. It'd go west all the way to El Paso, which merges to I-20. 35 goes north and south. So this could take you to Austin, San Antonio. It goes up to Oklahoma City. So all this direction right here, if you got in a car, it could be anywhere. Where did it, what the hell? What happened to my map? Oh, there we are. Okay, so if he went this back way, we already said that these cameras right here, if they're not pointing out, they wouldn't have been able to see anything. But these on this United States building would definitely capture anybody lurking around that area. And I don't know if these parking areas, that looks like one, or that could be a light. But I'm sure after dark, there's some kind of cameras in this parking area. Usually they don't have gates, so you can walk through them at night. And you're like, come on, 12, you're driving me crazy looking for all these cameras. You're making me dizzy. But I want to show the mother that there is a lot more cameras to be looking at than just the one by the bus station. Possibly any of these cameras right here could have her son on any of them. And it'd be definitely easier to canvass the area and see what direction her son went in. See, we already counted these, so don't recount them. It's either right across the street from the bus station, which is right here. See, if he came out this way and went the back way to McDonald's, this is the way he would have went. Right here, the back way, across the street, all the way down to McDonald's is right here on the left. Or he went up a block and then down, but still he would have crossed the camera right here. They would have captured him. Either one of these, if that's a camera. But most definitely there's cameras that would have caught him. There's one right there. And there's like 3 all the way down this wall, 3 or 4. So tell me what y'all think about this case. Those of you in chat, what do y'all think? Do you think there's foul play? Do you think that an adult just went missing because he didn't want to go home? What's your thoughts? We had like some people in the chat. Now they all left. I don't know where they went, but if you watch this on replay, be sure to let me know what your thoughts on this case are, because I'm going to have the mom on here. And you're going to ask, was there drugs involved? Well, I'm pretty certain that if you're unmedicated, and you have mental health issues, then more than likely drugs either play a part in it, either before or even anytime if you're unmedicated once you get out of prison. There are just so many freaking cameras. I don't know how nobody saw this man walking away from this bus station. And there's not been any kind of ticket voucher to prove that he even boarded another bus or anything like that. So that's what makes it even more compelling. Let me see if I can find the flyer for you. He went missing. It doesn't even say on the flyer. Here's the flyer. Let me show you the flyer that way. Let me stop that screen and I'll show you the flyer. There's the flyer. And these are some of the tats that he has. I believe this was about a year ago and something. Like I said, I'm trying to get his mom to come up on the show to discuss this. There are the numbers that if anybody watching this or knows of anything that happened to this young man, please do the right thing and call his mom, or call his family, or have him call the family. Once again, these are some of the tats on this man's arms. I hope that me bringing a little light to this gives his family a little more hope that, possibly more people can be watching this. You just never know who could be watching this or who could hear about this in the background and know what happened to Lawrence. Because it's almost Christmas time and his son's going to be without his father for Christmas. His daughter's going to be without her dad for Christmas. A family's going to be without their loved one for Christmas. So if you know anything about this case, do the right thing and get the message out to his family, to law enforcement, because it's imperative that we bring this man home. Once again, I'm going to show you the bus station in which he was last seen. I don't believe she saw every one of those camera footage that I just showed you. So hopefully I will tell her that and she'll be able to get, if the cameras have been backed up, she'll be able to see. And that is where he went missing. The Dallas, Texas Greyhound bus station on Lamar Street in Dallas, Texas. So if you know anything about this case, do the right thing. And if your tips lead to any kind of viable option, I'm sure, or even a direction that pans out to where this young man is, there's a $20,000 reward for you. And I am not the spokesperson for the family. You would definitely have to get with them in order to get all that situated. So don't quote me as being the spokesperson for this family, because I'm not. I'm just merely highlighting this case on my channel because I told her I would, and hopefully she will be on the channel within the coming weeks. Be looking hopefully around the 29th through the 3rd of January. I will be going live in Dallas, Texas. I will be going live in homeless camps and around the Greyhound area. So if you really want to see the boots on the ground, whether she's with me or not, I will still be documenting on this case. That way we can really see on the boots on the ground type situation exactly where the cameras are and how the day-to-day hustle and bustle of this area is. So if you have enjoyed what I've brought to you and you're more intrigued on following this case, please be sure to tune in and hit the notification button if you haven't already. I have to hit that bell every week because for some reason YouTube quits notifying me. It's almost every time I do a live, I have to go and hit that button just to make sure that the notification is being sent out to the subscribers. So if you want to be a subscriber, it is free. I do talk about the facts of cases. I don't talk about speculation very often. I do have my opinion and I do have my thoughts, but I try to stick to just the case, not add, not deduct, and give you exactly what I know and what I believe along the way. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to leave this with some music playing. And y'all thank you so much for being here. Once again, my name is 12 Gauge. And tell your people that this is a good channel. They should come and check it out. Maestro, cue that music.
sinking to the floor again, counting cracks like they were friends. Every prayer felt like it hit the ceiling. Every dream just learned how to bend. I wore my failures like a second skin. Every mirror knew my name.